Kwanji, that is hello in Bemba language of Zambia. Welcome to episode 55 of the podcast, and I remain your host, Amobi. For today's episode, we are going to wrap up discussions on the 4 key sectors with high potential mentioned in the World Economic Forum Insight Report on AFCFTA. I started that about 3 weeks ago, and we touched the automotive sector, the agriculture and agro-processing, pharmaceutical sector, and today we are looking at transport and logistics, and we will wrap up discussions on the Insight Report. So let's go right into it. So we're looking at the key trends and opportunities in the transport and logistics sector, and this sector is said to be an important enabler of trade in goods, and of course the largest contributor to imports within the continent. The value of imports of freight transportation from within and outside the continent is 36.8 billion annually. That's for the transport and logistics sector, which includes passenger and freight transportation, third-party logistics, freight forwarding, courier express, and parcel services. So for key trends, the transportation and logistics sector is actually an enabler of the other trade sectors. So a majority of the intra-African exports are done via land. So we have 60% of automotive exports, 56% of pharmaceutical, and 60% of agro-processing products exports done via road transportation. Then for maritime trade, maritime trade is projected to increase from 58 million to 132 million tons by 2030 with the AFCFTA. So once the AFCFTA has been implemented, that the maritime sector is projected to increase from 58 million to 132 million tons by 2030. So the road and maritime transportation, they are said to offer the biggest opportunity as air and rail transportation are still being developed. Okay, some of the barriers to the transport and logistics sector include custom delay periods, lower percentages of paved roads, and a higher loss of goods due to limited cold chains compared to other regions of the world. So these are some of the barriers that have caused or have held African countries back in respect of trade under this within this industry. So with the AFCFTA, it is projected that the increase in intra-African freight demand it is projected that intra-African freight demand will increase by 28%. That's with the AFCFTA, and that's going to lead to a surge in demand for almost 2 million trucks, 100,000 wheel wagons, 250 aircraft, and more than 100 vessels by 2030. So this is what we have for key trends. Then let's look at some of the opportunities highlighted in the report. So with the implementation of the AFCFTA, and which will lead to increase in intra-African trade, because that means that burdensome custom procedures will be eliminated, and this will lead to urban-rural divide closure and, of course, development of digital logistics. So there are 3 key opportunities highlighted. Let's look at some of it. The first one, the overwhelming demand and need for logistics and transport services will only increase as the AFCFTA is implemented and intra-African trade increases. Okay, that means with the AFCFTA, there will be higher demand for logistics by small and medium-sized enterprises, that's SMEs, who will want to connect to bigger markets. So they will need logistics providers to connect them to help them connect to bigger markets. And of course, if commodity prices are lower due to removal of trade barriers and imports cost, consumption and demand will also increase, and that means that will benefit African manufacturers and the logistics and transport sector. And it's also projected to open door or lead to potential opportunity for digital logistics companies to also step in and reduce cost as well. let's move on to the next opportunity. Next one, closing the urban-rural divide also presents opportunities in the logistics sector. For rural areas who have been reliant on regional supply chains, because they are usually isolated due to bad road infrastructure, or should I say inadequate infrastructure. So it's been stated that some startups have begun to address these issues with innovative solutions to integrate the rural and city markets. Infrastructure gaps, especially those that take a long time to fix, have prompted companies to create innovative new solutions, including cargo drones, inland waterways, ports, and other means of transport. So that's world. Then, of course, business to business logistics is also expected to dominate the sector in short to medium term, and business to consumer logistics will also increase as consumer spending rises and e-commerce becomes more prevalent and urbanization increases. Okay, so this is where we wrap it up for our discussions on the 4 key sectors in the Wealth Insight report on AFCFTA. So, as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you want to discuss more on this, you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. My name is Omobola Adekola. And until next week, we're going to be moving that. Next week, I will share latest updates in respect of the AFCFTA, and after that, we're going to be looking at another report from another industry entirely for some professionals. And until then, I say to you, bye-bye.